All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Dirty Dad's Gaming, and I am your host, Joe Dirte, and we are here for another After Action Review, Trios number 2. Now, I will warn you, you have myself, Dirte, and you also have Softhammer in here as far as normal teammates, but on this specific match, we subbed out Fishy, and we decided to bring a new guy in. Now, we have played with him a couple times, so communication is amazing. We definitely have that pat. It's just one of these weird. I think we all have a couple of these games, and I think that's why we're going to review it here. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. All right, Dirty Dads, let's get it. All right, so we are flying in, and we're trying to decide what we want to do. Now, it's kind of. I think the weird game plan here is I think we wanted to hunt some people, sort of, and then decided not to. And we got the cool bird going right across. So I'm going to fast forward. We're going to do this a little bit raw today. Yeah, raw editing. Just fast forwarding here because nobody wants to see all this craziness. Now, I don't think enough people take advantage of this. The flying in the air. Now, I know you always got some knucklehead trying to pop shot you out of the air or something, whatever. Um, but using it to have 360, to look around, to figure out where all your enemies are dropping. And it really helps you out getting your situational awareness hitting the ground. So I thought that was definitely a plus of this map. We did a really good job coasting into here, just knowing exactly where every single team was going to be. So I'm going to fast forward again. This is us falling down these buildings here. Now, if you notice, I'm going to bring us back here just one second. I kind of want you to look at the mini map here in the top, and you're going to go, well, that's a little weird. Why am I looking at this mini map? And what I want you to see is that he dropped over here. Now, the reason why he dropped here is so he can start looting from here down. However, we know that there's a team in here. We know a team went up here. And we also know that a team landed somewhere by these bunkers. Now, we're not quite sure which bunker, but we know there. So we know of a confirmed at least 3 teams that landed in this area. So what we want him to do is don't get up in these buildings because that's a dead giveaway once you break a building or some opening doors. People kind of see it, and there's enough loot for us to come down here. So what he's going to do is he's going to loot here. He's going to cross the street, loot here, and he's going to keep eyes on down this area as he maneuvers. Now, he's going to hit this first building and then continue through. And you're going to ask something throughout this match. We're just going to pick back up here on the pings and why do we ping everything. It's easy way to communicate. Now, you could do directional. Some people do the right, the left, but your right is not their right, and it becomes very confusing when you're underground. So that doesn't work at all. Next thing is using the degrees. Now, degrees are great, but the problem is it's in the upper right hand corner. So what are you doing to figure out which center of the degree is? You don't tend to automatically go to that. You tend to kind of turn your body to figure out where it is and then go from there. That's also a hugely bad thing that people do. I don't know why. I've played with a couple guys that are like that. They give us degrees and then you watch them and they're like turning in a circle trying to figure out which degree it is. So I think it's so much easier just using pings. It's clear. New players. Now, if your teams do that, by all means, I say rock and roll with it. Um, but I think it's easy for someone that doesn't play that much to understand the ping system over degrees. So this is us. We're just kind of raiding through, no big deal. Keeping it nice and tight as far as the formation goes. And you're gonna go. You guys are breaking windows. It's whatever. There's nobody around us. We've already scouted this whole area prior to going in. We got nobody still. This is where, kind of like a lessons learned. I love that they have these in the map, but it's still kind of a pain. These linear danger areas, these little ditches you kind of go through. I'm going to overshoot here, and you're going to go, well, why do you expose yourself in the open? Is because if there's somebody sitting across there aiming, they're going to shoot at me before they shoot at my team coming in. So I'd rather lose one guy than lose 2 guys, or they're waiting for us to set up outside so they can pick us off one by one. Yeah, it kind of did give away a position, but I'd rather get in a firefight on this side before we cross over, personally. So that was kind of the train of thought in there. I'm going to fast forward here again just a little bit. Now, I'm in the bottom building just below that. I just secured it, and now we're kind of repositioning, picking our spots in which we want to run to. Now, I will say this: if you notice this, as we cross the road here, they're allowing me to guinea pig it, allowing me to be a lead guy. And the reason for this is that if you stick together like a team, I love this. Okay, I love when teams stick together super super tight. I'm just gonna shoot RPGs at you, or I'm gonna wait on the other side of the wall and throw my C4 over at you and blow your whole team up. Now RPGs, they're a little inaccurate, so you may not get a down each single time, but for the most part, you're going to at least break the armor, which is amazing and saves you so much time. So I'm going to fast forward back through here. We have nothing. And this is really weird for us. Now, if you're looking, this is the first circle, and we haven't found a team yet, or at least a team in our direction of travel. So I'm not going to go back to fight another team. It's pointless, especially going against the smoke. I'd rather them just come to us. So we got nothing. We decided to hold out here just to make sure there's nobody behind us because there were those three teams. And we got nothing. So they're either to our right or our left, and that allows us a better position, especially after that first circle engaged. Now this is really weird for us, and this is where we kind of go into. Normally, we would already be in contact. We've already either killed a team, or maybe a team sometimes gets the better of us, but at least one team fight should have happened by now, which I thought was pretty odd. Usually that first circle, we're always in some kind of team fight or trouble. So we're just plussing up. I'm just getting some UAVs. We bought a loadout and stuff like that, so we didn't have to go compete for somebody else's loadout. And you can see there's really nobody around us unless they have cold-blooded or Ghost on, which seems to be the optimal running here. So I'm going to fast forward us through and keep going. Now, there was a guy in the tower. You hear the RPG? Right. We got one that dropped over there. There was a guy, and then you have one overlooking the tower. So we're sandwiched in between two teams trying to make it through here. Now, we're not sure what the guys in the tower were doing or thinking, but nobody poked out this side. They were only facing the gas, which I thought was pretty weird because it's all open. So you would definitely see a team almost immediately unless they were, crossing the airport. So I'm surprised we didn't get shot at by them. And the other team was skirting the other direction to not cross through. So this was a good choice for us. I believe this was Softhammer's decision just to run the gambit here, and it worked out very well, at least in this part. If you notice, we're in a really tight formation. I hate it, but we kind of don't have a choice. There's one guy that ran directly in front of me and called it out, and we started hauling because we're running from the smoke. And the smoke tends to speed up a little bit, if you guys haven't noticed. There we go, RPG. RPG kill. We love RPGs here at Dirty Dads. Just is what it is. It's so much fun. Now, this is where we're in a pickle. And I think we played it really smart in this scenario here. Is we don't know if that's the scout guy and he's got two other teammates behind him, if he's the lone wolf trying to survive, or if he's the last guy in the stack and then possibly go down. So we don't want to be outflanked. So we're kind of just holding in position, playing doorways, waiting, because that smoke's coming in really fast. Fortunately, nobody came. Now, this is right outside the parking garage of the airport. It's this little drop-down tent we decided to hold up in while we wait for it to close a little bit more. Now, the reason why we stopped here is usually you always got that one camper that kind of sits on top of the roof, and he just stays there forever, it feels like, until the very last second and then jumps. Now, this happens to me all the time, so we just play smart, like, okay, there's an overhead. We don't know if there's a guy up there. Just run it to the smoke, and then hopefully, he drops down, and then we can kind of mow him down and continue on. So, nobody there. That was good for us. We crossed in. Now, this is a little sketch. We had two decisions here. You can go close quarters to the right side, which there's a lot of cubby holes and hiding spots. And usually when you go in there and there is a team set up waiting, that lead guy is going to die or the rear guy mysteriously gets killed. because we passed them and didn't clear properly. So we decide we're going to stay in the open. Yeah, it gives away our position a little bit more. We know there's nobody down to our right initially or to the left. So we'd rather just split apart. Now, we kind of use a wedge formation in this. And if you're ex-military or know anything about movement formations in real life or real military, it just allows for sectors of fires to cross and allows us to move in the open field without, you know, someone shooting one RPG and killing the entirety of the team. So we spread out pretty far. Those two are inside the building. And as you can see, they're going to surpass me. We're just going to leapfrog on our way through here. So I'm going to fast forward. This is me just double checking, make sure nobody's coming out of there. Like I said, I just really don't want to be in these tight spaces. I end up clearing the backside here. We got nothing. And we're going to push through. And this is us just clearing through the building systematically. Now, once again, each ping is the future position of them, so that's kind of where they're going. So we don't end up clustered in the same room. Now, I'm pulling security while they're finishing up raiding. Now, everybody tends to go for a box at once, okay? And let's just do the math. You got one box, one guy stands in front of it. When it drops out, the money drops on him or right in front of him. What are you going to do? You're going to run by and steal the stuff? You know what I mean? Just pull security. Figure out where the enemy is and allow that guy to get the box so you get the next one. You know what I mean? So help your buddy out. Don't be that one guy that just raids every single box and leaves no gear or tells you, hey, it's 6 buildings back is where I left that thing for you. And you're like, really, dude? Like, just let me get a box. So sharing is caring here. So as you can see, we're kind of waiting out the smoke again. And we're doing this because it's, I wouldn't say camping in this because we're moving constantly. But when we get to an end of a ring, it seems like we're hesitant because we haven't seen a team yet. Now, if you look, we're on the 4th circle. And we've only ran into that one guy, the tail end of a team or just a lone wolf there. And it's really scary because you're kind of on edge. You're waiting, but then you kind of get comfortable with just running willy-nilly across the field, which is kind of funny. So this is where we break apart. Now we come here. We don't want to go inside here because you could hear the teams fighting. I know I got one to my right. I call it out to them. They're looking straight ahead. Now they're in the woods going through. I'm kind of playing bait. So if there's a sniper out there or there's the other team on the right that's going to push through, we can kind of see it. We decide we want to consolidate on them. Here's the problem is they're trying to get out of the smoke by running adjacent for us. We're sandwiched in between two teams that have no choice but to move forward. All right, we got the two teams that were fighting on the right. We have the one team on the left pushing across. And then mysteriously, they're in contact. So I think that kind of saved us here from kind of meeting at the same point or close to. And we're just going to push up a little bit more here. Now we're stuck outside. We're kind of riding it in because we don't know where the other teams are. We still haven't made contact with the team on the right. We have no clue where they went. And the circle's tiny, so they have to be somewhere close. There you go. Boop. I didn't notice the guy on the roof, but I did notice this guy was shooting. So I took him out, and I thought it was those bullets, even though after looking at it later, it did come from the roof. And that, yeah, see, I thought the tracers would have given it away, but he had the purple tracers, and I didn't see him from the roof. All right. Now, that's still a top 10 finish, so it's not completely bad. Uh, I think we weren't ready for it, to be honest. I think that lull in fire, you know, we usually warm up in multiplayer, you get your juices flowing, and then you rush out there, you're ready to kill. Next thing you know, you're killing a bunch of people, you're having a good time, and then you're warmed up for the firefights. I think there was such a lull. I mean, you have almost, before actual true contact with another team where you have to maneuver and communicate, it took us almost 20 minutes. So you're playing a game for 20 minutes without seeing essentially another soul, but one lone guy that didn't have a chance. It kind of gives you a false sense of security. And I think we could have acted a little more, but I also believe we were rushed. If we would have stayed in the same communication level that we did in the beginning and the same methodical movement throughout the buildings, we could have easily took that team. As you can see, they were already set up, but if we would have, did it. Moral of the story, don't clump up. Like the entire game, we ran it so smooth, except for clumping up at the end, and it literally cost us. So unfortunate, somebody got the drop on us. But all right, hopefully you guys like this. The other videos seem to do okay. Now we're doing a little more in-person, face-to-face kind of movement here. Next time we won't have to do this craziness where we go across. We will do a little more clips. They're already pre-cut up for you guys, and hopefully help you digest this just a little bit better. So tell us what you think. Put some comments. Tell us what we did bad, what we did good. Here at Dirty Dads, we truly believe in that you learn from your mistakes, and you can only get better at the game. So we will post more wins and stuff, but here it's kind of hard to learn from wins because you kind of see a lot of things that you did right, obviously, because you won. And maybe one or two things, but games like this, especially like top 10 games where you still did pretty good, however, you didn't do good enough, and there can always be, a greater lesson to be learned here. So, without further ado, enjoy your day. Dirty Dirty Dad out.